Good afternoon, grade 12 geography learners. I know that you all are working hard, and I know that you have enjoyed going through the question 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 of the November 2019 examination paper. And today, I'm going to discuss the question 4.4, which, as you can see, focuses on informal settlements. Now, informal settlement, learners, as you know, is an important part of the module 3 on the settlement section. Informal settlements are referred to as shacks, shanty towns, the bastis in India, as they are called. They're also referred to as favelas in Brazil. So they are known by many different names within our country and different parts of the world. It's a common question in the examination. So let's see what kinds of questions the examiners have asked us in the 2019 examination paper. All right, so there's an examination paper, and the examiners have asked us to read through this extract and to be able to answer a few questions that are based on that. Now, it's important when you read through them. It says, firstly, this informal settlement is a case study of what's happening in Durban, and it speaks about most of the major fires attended to in recent years by the eThekwini Fire Department were in informal settlements. Now, learners, we are in the winter season. And many of us that live in formal settlements, formal buildings, we have access to electricity. People living in informal settlements in the winter situation, being extremely cold. And it talks about here in July, there's a day, July. We know that in July it's winter, and residents living in informal settlements don't have access to electricity, and therefore they would be now involving themselves in obtaining fire with the use of paraffin, use of wood, use of coal, and that leads to major accidents. All right. Recently, we had the fire demolished entire settlement in Pretoria, which they call the plastic settlement. And as you know, informal settlements are settlements that are constructed from poor material, from stone, from plank, from sticks, from mud, from plastic, from tin, cheap material. All right, and let us move on. And it says that winter, there's a day, winter is especially a time to be on high alert, as we have an increase of fires breaking out. Now again, we know that it's July, it's winter, and we are familiar with the fact that these informal settlements don't have access to electricity like many of the formal homes have, and therefore they have to depend on making fires using paraffin stoves, candles, lamp, gas, wood, coal, etc. And these aspects that are used to make fire are quite vulnerable to fire. The next paragraph, it took firefighters 10 hours to put these fires off. That's important. Remember, in the time that it's taking, it's causing much damage. So 10 hours to put the fire off. And you'll also note that the fire is spreading quite rapidly. It says that the fire that spread rapidly to the informal settlement. Now, why is it spreading so rapidly through informal settlement? Perhaps the material from which the settlements are constructed, maybe it's plastic, perhaps plank, it's wood, and therefore fire can spread through rapidly. Equally important, fire will spread rapidly because of the density of these settlements. And it speaks here about the spacing among settlements, among the shacks, which means that these settlements are quite close to each other, and the fire can now spread quite easily. Then it says here as well The nature of construction, the nature of the construction material, isn't it? That's your wood, that's your plank, your timber, your plastic, which is now going to be more exposed, more prone to burning, right? Existing settlements, and of course, as you can see here, the emergency accessibility challenges. What does that mean? It means that the rescue services, your ambulance services, your firefighters don't have easy access into various parts of the area because you have no proper roads, because these settlements are so close to each other, because these settlements and the roads have no names. So movement becomes quite difficult. And of course, human behavior is the other factor. So they're giving us some causes as to why the fire would have spread so rapidly. And let's quickly see what kinds of questions are now being asked. Right, the first question talks about, let's clear these things up here. All right, clear all drawings. And the first question is now talking about, define the term an informal settlement. Right, we asked to define the term an informal settlement. Okay, an informal settlement could be an illegal settlement, right? An illegal settlement. It's located as you can see here, right? The settlement is sometimes illegal. When people live in self-constructed structures, right? People are making their own homes, and these homes are made from any available material. That's important. Like we said, the plastic, the tin, the wood, the plank, and these things will burn that much easily. Equally important, as you can see there, your settlements are located on the outskirts of the urban area. There's it here again. The construction, they built from plastic, from mud, from tin, from cardboard, and plastic and cardboard is able to burn that much quicker. And these settlements don't have basic services. They don't have water, they don't have sanitation, no proper roads, etc. So for 1 mark, you asked to describe what an informal settlement is. Okay, let's go on to our next question. And the next question talks about, according to our newspaper article, there is an increased risk of fires in informal settlements. So now we're asking, why do we have an increased risk of fires in the informal settlements, right? Let's see what we say. There's it there. The nature of the construction material being used. The plastic, the wood, the timber will allow the settlements to burn that much faster. Number two, these settlements are close to each other. The houses are close to each other, and therefore the fire can spread that much more faster. Number three, emergency accessibility challenges, which means that no proper roads, no proper road names, and your rescue vehicles, emergency vehicles don't have access to where the incidents are taking place. And of course, the last one is human behavior, where people are now making use of candles, of paraffin stoves, of gas, of coal, of wood. Sometimes we also involved in illegal connection, right? And these cords are lying exposed and they can cause problems. Our third question, and the question talks about, why does the occurrence of destructive fires increase in informal settlements in winter? Why does it increase in winter? Again, we spoke about these things. People light fires. And to light fires using your paraffin, right? You got your gas stoves being used. you're burning coal, you're burning wood. There's the issue of illegal connection. There's it here, illegal connection. Negligence when we're using open fires, that can cause fire. Increased use of candles during the winter season. And of course, the materials used to make fires are stored around the shacks. And whether it's coal, whether it's wood, people will gather these things and keep them outside of the houses to be used as and when we need them. So all we want is 2 reasons, 2 marks each. Right? Let's keep moving on. The last question, I think it is. In a paragraph of 8 lines, explain how the local municipality can reduce fire hazards, how we can reduce the fire hazards for people living in these informal settlements, right? So we're looking at how we can reduce the fire hazards for people living in informal settlements, and you'll find some very simple answers we're now looking at. Take, for example, there's a chapter, the first one down here, increased awareness programs of the dangers of fire. Right? That'll score you 2 marks. Let's go for the easier ones. Provide proper infrastructure, in other words, your roads, so that emergency personnel will be able to attend to these emergencies quite quickly. They were speaking about regular police patrol. There's a bit. Regular police patrol in the area. To do what? To monitor the illegal connections, to minimize them. Right? Increased access to potable water. There's a bit. So that we'll be able to put the fire off should there be a need to have these things done. Right? Demarcate specific plots for people to settle, so that there is sufficient spacing between these houses, noting that one of the concerns was the houses were quite close together. There's the next easier one here as well, where we're saying we can build formal brick houses. Again, noting that the problems were caused by the plastic, the timber, which is the building material, and these things cause the fire. And of course, the other good answer to use is that provide for people the issue of solar panels. Not only it's going to reduce the bill for individuals, because solar panels is now using sun power, the power of the sun, but of course it's going to be safer, right? So we're looking for your 8-mark question, 4 ideas, 2 marks each. Once again, please make sure you go through these questions, and we will certainly speak about the other questions in the course of tomorrow, but revise 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and question 4.4. Do have a pleasant evening. Thank you.